So this is what it means to the top of the table. Manchester United really firming up their grip on second place. 63 points now. They got 66 last season, but 63 would have been enough for Champions League football last season. They're just about assured of that already, aren't they? And it's been a really disappointing weekend for Spurs because those three sides above them have all won. They've dropped off now 6 points outside the top four with just 7 games to go. And as I said, really important win for Newcastle United at Burnley. Took them on to 32 points, 6 clear of Fulham, and still with a game in hand over their relegation rivals.
It was emphatic in the end, but what is it about this team? You are the comeback kings.
Yeah, obviously the way the game goes, we were going in at half-time frustrated, but the message was clear from the manager: keep calm. That's what we're saying to the players, just keep calm. There's no need to panic. We're only a goal down and we've been in this position before, so we know that we have good character in the team. We have good players who want to take the ball against a really difficult team, so brilliant win.
I mean, it's quite incredible, 28 points from losing positions. Yeah,
sometimes that's the way football goes. You know, we have to start games better. The manager reiterated that to us the first 30 minutes. For us, our standards was not good enough, and then after that we played much better. We had more control in the second half, and we dominated the whole second half, to be fair. So yeah, as I say, brilliant win and nothing but positives in the second half.
Were you driven on by a sense of injustice as well for the goal that was disallowed?
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of talk about that, but the referees have to make decisions, and that's part and parcel of the game. I'm personally not a fan of VAR, but that's part and parcel of the game that we're playing now. So for us, it was a case of keeping calm. It was obviously a goal. Referees obviously made a mistake, but that happens. Everybody makes mistakes in life, and that's part and parcel of it. So yeah, nothing bad to say.
Can you afford to be generous about it now, because obviously you got the result you wanted, but at the time, were you seething?
Yeah, obviously at the time you can't accept that. For us, it was total injustice, as you say, but you just got to get on with the game. You can't let that dampen the way that we were playing towards the end of the first half, and for us to come away with 3 points at a really difficult game was pleasing.
Do we also see today as well some real individual qualities from your team?
Yeah, you see Fred getting in the box. I know it's good to see. No, he has that energy, and he was terrific today. Same with Paul, Mason, the boys who got the goals. Eddie, top draw. So yeah, I'm sure the manager will be pleased with a lot of the players today.
And does it take away a little of the pain from the heavy defeat earlier in the season to Tottenham?
Yeah, we knew that was a lot that was spoken about before the game. We owe these 100%. That was something that we had in our minds, that we owe these a proper game, and not for us to forget about that game that happened, because it was nowhere near good enough. But as I say, today was much better.
Well played, Scott.
Thank you very much.
Yes, revenge belongs to Manchester United here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And you heard from Scott McTominay, Roy. He obviously felt, and the team felt, really let down in that first half, but the big decision that went against them. But did they use the energy in the right way?
Yeah, well, we mentioned at half time, and he's obviously mentioned there that Ollie said, listen, keep calm. With the quality United would have, they were always going to come back into the game. We saw that in the second half. They were the much better team. They showed their quality. Obviously Greenwood made a big contribution coming off the bench, and that's exactly what you want. So United, chalk and cheese first half, as we've seen many times this season, very, very poor, but the second half, outstanding. Have you got used to this? 28 points from losing positions for Manchester United. Yeah, and there's pluses and minuses to that. Obviously, Ollie would be scratching his head saying, why are we so slow to start games? But then you got to admire the players, the way they responded. Again, we talk about character. But really, I thought the second, they just showed their quality, what good players they are when they focus on the game. Again, frustrated in the first half with the officials, but focus on the game, and they got the job done, and well deserved.
Michael, let's look at how they went in at half-time, a goal down to Youngman's goal.
Before they were okay. I would say that they were certainly in the game. There wasn't a great deal to choose between the two sides. But there was definitely, as soon as they went 1-0 up, they did start to sit back. They invited pressure. But I also think you have to congratulate Man United. They passed it well. They had a style of play. When you watch United, you know what they're about. They're popping it around in midfield. They're getting up the pitching in stages. I watch Tottenham. I don't really know what they are, what sort of team they are when I look at them. There's so many problems with what they're trying to achieve. Yeah, they get it forward to Kane, and you hope something might happen with Son or Mora. But apart from that, I don't really see a style of play or a strategy to make the team look good. Man United were far and away the best team today. They outclassed them in every department.
Perhaps an unlikely man to score the equaliser.
The keeper's going to get the ball, and we can roll it out so you can start the attack. And you're not thinking about your defensive side, you're thinking about offensive. And I know fullbacks now, they're known for going forward, but it's costing his team every single time he plays. And I rate him. I think he's a good player, but it's just that little bit of concentration
You rate
that he
who?
needs. Aurier, I do rate him. I think he's a good player. It's just that lack of concentration. If you had
That's pretty important. Lack of concentration in vital moments. That's what makes you or breaks you as a good defender.
Yeah, he does. But I think the modern day defender now, why they get away with it? Because everyone said, "Oh, he's not bad going. He's going forward."
He's not that good going forward.
He's okay. He's got a good delivery of the ball. He's not a world beater, but I do think he's a good player. But this is a difference between the top defenders in the world.
And what about Cavani? Has he shown his worth to United again here? Not just with the goal, but the overall performance.
But his performance was outstanding, and again, he was frustrated going into half-time, no doubt, with the goal disallowed. But out of all the strikers you look at, and I'm talking about world football, and obviously we've seen out his previous clubs, his movement is as good as any striker in the world. He is a clever, smart guy. Okay, he doesn't stretch teams as well as maybe Martial does, but his movement, his finishing, up there with the best in the world.
And how much of a difference did Mason Greenwood make? And presumably he's learning now week in, week out from Edison Cavani.
He's so sharp. I mean, that's the thing. You need good players, good senior players. We all talk about it, and people that you can learn from. And he'll be looking at those little subtle movements. I just when you look at Cavani in his age, what would he be like in this league at 21? I mean, he's fantastic at movement. And you can see Greenwood, I still think he ends up as a number 9, but he can play on that right-hand side.
You're a fan of him going forward.
I think he's a very good player.
We know. Yeah. But it's too easy. And it is a good point that he made. It can go either way. So as a defender, you're thinking, is he going to come inside? He goes the outside, and it's a great
But what
finish.
Spurs needed during the second half, when United were getting on top, and we're watching the game here live, and I know Kane's a senior player, we saw no characters, we saw no leaders for Spurs, getting people in and just kind of saying, listen, let's stay in the game. Even the last goal there, they're falling off tackles. We go back to Spurs before the game. You take Kane and Son. This is a really average Spurs team.
Roy, let's go back to that because it's important. Because
Let's do that after the break, Jamie.
Okay, can I just say 8 to the 11? Oh, we'll do it after. It's better.
We'll do it after. When we've got a little bit more time. We'll hear more from Jamie. So this is what it means to the top of the table. Manchester United really firming up their grip on second place. 63 points now. They got 66 last season, but 63 would have been enough for Champions League football last season. They're just about assured of that already, aren't they? And it's been a really disappointing weekend for Spurs because those 3 sides above them have all won. They've dropped off now 6 points outside the top 4 with just 7 games to go. And as I said, really important win for Newcastle United at Burnley. Took them on to 32 points, 6 clear of Fulham, and still with a game in hand over their relegation rivals.